Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon. Can I say afternoon? Yeah, afternoon. Alright, so today, okay, I will like proceed on our chapter or topic 4. Some of your friends asking me when is the deadline. Actually, the deadline had in our Moodle, but it's okay from time to time. For those who have submitted me your draft, you can proceed to do your slide. Okay, I will inform again in the group. I have seen it, and still some of you are still on the track. So you can proceed with the slide, and the slide is based on the point that you have stated in your draft. But bear in mind, no need totally to put all things copy and paste in the slide. Just make it more simple. Just take the keywords, and then the rest you can present with your own on your way. Alright. Alright. So without further ado, I hope that everybody are in a very good condition, and I realized that since last week I give you activity on last class on Wednesday, and then this Monday, also last Monday, I give you the activity on the SEL activity, actually to some brain opener to you all, okay, regarding how to become a very creative and innovative in your own way. Alright, so I do not know whether you can relate it, you can relate with the activity that I have give, but actually that one is not from Fat Uni itself, but I do my own initiative to make sure that how you can look into the perspective to become more creative. Alright, so as you can see from here, this is the topic 4. It's about legal and ethical issue in innovations. So we will learn about what is the legal system, okay, what how we want to make sure that in the form of the entities business, what we want to make sure that advantage and disadvantage on that. So I think that you some of you may be familiar on some particular of the terms and some of the explanation, okay, by today. Right. So in the content, we're still using the Scalper and Whopper books, okay, chapter in 5 and 9, and they have Velo Foundations for the Ben Canicum 2001 in handouts. For those who are buying my manual, maybe I attach together. Not maybe I attach together all this. Okay, I already put in our group WhatsApp the link for those who want to buy the manual. Alright, and for this the thing that you can see from here, it have legal structure of the new venture and the corporate governance, okay? And we have intellectual property and R&D issue for innovations. We have IP protection, which is patent, copyrights, and we also have to learn about the corporate governance and regulations, ethical issue on the society and the environment, environmental sustainability strategy and ecopreneurship, and we do have social responsibility in entrepreneurship, role of the social entrepreneurship, and the gender, ethnic and also indigenous inequalities and conflict. All right, we start with the first one. Okay, so this is the legal structure or the entities of the business when we are doing the business, which is we have sole proprietorship, okay, pemilik tunggal in bahasa Melayu. Excuse to me because I translate in bahasa little bit. Partnership, perkongsian, company will mean company itself, whether it public and private company, and then we have trust, pemegang amanah, and non-profit. Non-profit meaning some of the NGOs, okay, or non-government organizations. In Australia, because we are using Australian textbooks, okay, so they give some of the environment of tax on the business perspective in Australia. In Australia, many businesses are proprietary limited companies, okay, which is 33%. Okay, and then we have sole proprietorship are popular at 29%. And then we have trust and partnership represent 22% and 60% will be respectively, meaning to say trust will be 30% and partnership is 60%. Okay, so this is a mostly the legal structure that be implemented in Australia. But in Malaysia also we do have the same thing too. Okay, We do have sole proprietorship, partnership, and private limited company, and of course, like Malaysia, we have our own uh, legal legal law, which is a Business Registration Act, 1956. Okay, which will be registered under for sole proprietorship and also partnership. Okay, whereby for a private limited company mostly on business business law, business law. All right, and that one is 1965. Okay, so sole proprietorship. Okay, as you can see, they have some of the pro and cons in here. So sole proprietorship or the sole trader, where the owner of the business is synonymous with the firm. Okay, and you can see here. Okay, the advantages. Okay, of the sole proprietorship. Okay, as you can see, ease of the formation. Okay, ease of the formation meaning to say it's easy to be developed. Okay, easy to start. Because why? Because we are talking about the business itself, because it's owned by one person, is sole. Okay, sole mean French word meaning in an individual, meaning one person. So in terms of the controlling toward the business, um they are total control over the business, because only the one person will control the business itself. So meaning to say the sole proprietorship have the responsibility for all. So you don't have to rely other person in order to take care of the business, because it's belong to you. So in terms of the total control over your profit, your losses is belong to you. And the third one, relatively cheap to set up. Let's say you have 50 ringgit Malaysia, 50, yeah. Ringgit Malaysia, you want to start out with like the business like nasi lemak or coconut rice, example. So you have to just maybe you want to sell for 2 days, maybe like 30 packets. So you just using your maybe like your capital, okay, 50 ringgit just now. Maybe for per pax is 1 ringgit. Sorry, for the capital, 1 ringgit per pax. So you sell it 150. So 150 times with 30, so it will be 45. But your raw materials, maybe your capital is 30. So from that you already get 15 ringgit your profit. So easy to set up, and then cheap to set up, and they have few regulation, because in terms of the income tax is based on the sole proprietorship itself, for the owner itself, based on individual income, not the business tax, or in regulation. In terms of disadvantage, of course, is very unlimited liability. For those who do not know what's mean liability, the liability in here meaning the debt. In terms of the expenses, sometimes when you are sole, you are only one individual who are running the business, no one monitoring you, right? So when you're spending, sometimes you're spending, your expenses might be more than the budgeted, right? So it possible to have happen unlimited liability. In terms you want to buy your raw materials, sometimes you use overspending, and sometimes you do not know that it will be unlimited liability. And the second one, in terms of limited resources, somehow because you are startup capital, in terms of your own, okay, your own. So sometimes you cannot actually have all. Sometimes you need certain materials, certain equipment, tools, but somehow because of your limitation of the individual business, somehow they make that a very limited resources. So you have to wait and patiently to a few months before you can have ample profit in order to buy the new materials or new resources, for example. And then the lack of the continuity is referring to in terms of um, let's say you start your business at the age 25, right? So maybe after 25, 27 years old, you die, okay? So the business is only hold for 2 years. No more continuation on your business, because you are the only one who own the business. You are the one who the owner of the business. So if let's say you have children, but even children like nowadays, they don't want to be their career and their future been actually been set up by their parents, right? So the business is only just out like that. I remember maybe like for the international student, you don't familiar with the coconut or not coconut but bamboo rice. Bamboo rice in Malaysia we call as lemang, you know. It's something like traditional food is put into the bamboo, and then there will be not burn, they will put at the fire, and then they just like not toast like that, they will just make sure that there will be cook, okay, in the open space, right, with the fire, like barbecue, something like that, okay, but it's not totally barbecue, but it's in bamboo. So I remember there will be in MRR2, okay, highway here, okay, the bamboo rice Pak Ali ataupun lemang Pak Ali. The child he yeah, the late owners, okay, Pak Ali, actually is already Allah Yarham. Okay, he do have I say potential customer, and he also had 10 children. Can you imagine 10 children? It's not one children, a son and also daughter. But not even one want to actually continuing his legendary of the business of this bamboo rice. But when we maybe like particular typing at the Google bamboo rice the Pak Ali, right? Everybody know about this business, but there is no continuity business. When once he die, okay, the workers actually take care of the business, not the children, okay, because no one interested on to continue this legendary of this bamboo rice, okay. And tax we talking about in terms of paying tax, of course, hook by crook, even you are small business, even you are sole proprietorship, you have to pay tax based on your income, mean individual income. All right, we're moving to the second one, which is partnership, okay. What's mean partnership? Partnership meaning to say you have two or more, okay, a relationship between the people carrying on the business in common with a viewing to sharing profits. So they do have advantage and disadvantage. Number one, in terms of the ease of the formation. Okay, said partnership also do with the same like sole proprietorship with there, whereby easy to form, okay, in terms of easy to form, whereby if you have your partners, your members, two or three members, you can start a business partnership, okay. And in terms of the ease of the operation, because you are distributing certain of the function and features of your business to your partner. For example, you are forte in doing marketing, you are the one who forte in finance, you are the one forte in human resource. So indirectly, when we are having someone who are forte in operation, for example, to do the product, right? So indirectly, you can actually delegate the task, dividing the equal task among your partner members. And then number three is tasting existence, meaning to say every single of the partners, they have their own role. Okay, as I mentioned, who are forte in human resource, you are forte in marketing, you are forte in financial, you are forte in operations, okay. So every singles of the roles of your partners have their distinct existence, I can say uniqueness and also differentiation. And in terms of the combined resources and direct rewards, is referring to in terms of how you want to make sure that certain of these partners, okay, there will be have compensations, rewards for what they have done towards the business, or of course in terms of their skill, okay, in terms of how their contribution toward the business will be get some advantage towards all the partners, especially when the business is very good, okay, and have the potential. And the disadvantage, in terms of disadvantage, unlimited joint liability. So basically like partnership and also sole proprietorship, in terms of the liability is very unlimited, because even though they have the partner, someone is monitoring them, but they are partners, right? So everybody will have their own spending, their expenses over the budget sometime. So there will be unlimited too, okay. And then the second one, potential conflict will be arise, even though we are sibling family members, also we have the conflicts, right? So how come as the best forever friend, BFF or whatever, okay, the partnership also will arise when come to the money, yeah, in terms of distribution of income. And the third one, we have potential conflict will be arise. Okay, maybe you might say, why this partner get more than me, for example, or why this work, my work is more heavy than him, for example, right? So people start to argue about the responsibility, the distribution of income, and it will be goes to the conflict. Okay, and then the third one, lack of the continuity. We are talking about each of the person. Okay, let's say you have five partners, right? Okay, let's say one partner is die, and or maybe missing in action. So what you have to do is, the disadvantage part is you have to revoke the agreement, because partnership, when once you actually involve in this partnership, you have to you have to register with the Partnership Act. You have to obey with Partnership Act, and at the same time, what will happen is, whatever the name in the agreement, let's say they have five names, the five name have to be actively exist. But let's say if like one members or two members is missing in action, you have to revoke back, okay, abolish the agreement and to do the new one. From five become three members, and the new agreement will become three members name. So that is the in term of the lack of continuity, because it's potential to have not only because some members is missing in action. So the one who will be continue, okay, they will revoke the name who are not even, maybe they have lost, missing in action, lost contact and so forth, run away with the money, for example, right? So they will continue with the new agreement, okay, and then bound by the acts of one partner. So this is depend on the Partnership Act. Okay. Okay. Now we will move into the company. Okay. I think like the third one. Okay, the company is the separate legal entity which have the existence independent of its owner and managers. So it will be private and public companies. I told you before, like what I have taught my student diploma. Mostly we are go for the private limited company, but in here because it's based on this Australian perspective, so they have two private and public companies. So what is the advantage? They have perpetual existence. Of course, the existence is based on the shareholder existence. Okay, and somehow when we're talking about the company itself, the shareholder will be different from the real the owner will be different from who are the managers, because managers will be come from the board of directors members, whereby the shareholder will come from the entity person who are differently shareholder, meaning to say who are contribute the shares towards the business, and they have limited liability because it based on how much. Let's say I contribute 50,000, so I have the rights to have my liability up to 50,000, and you maybe in the shareholder you are having 100,000 liability. Okay, sorry, 100,000 of contribution capital example. So you have the right to have your liability up to 100,000 because this is goes to the company rights. And then they have the rights of the natural person. Natural person in here meaning to say uh, the owners and also the managers will totally have different person, not the same person. So you sometimes you do not know who is the shareholder of this company because it is run by the board of directors who running and manage the company, company management. And then for this advantage, it high setup and maintenance cost. Of course, company is not involved one ringgit Malaysia, two ringgit Malaysia. It's involving like billion and trillion. It's a high cost. I mean like high capital existent, and then they have separate ownership. Ownership in here meaning the shareholder. So if let's say they have the board of director, below they have they control the management side, but for the shareholder will be different side. And the risk transfer to directors in privately held the company. So any kind of the risk or uh, what risks or threats and challenges will be bear by the directors, being board of director BOD members. It's not goes with the shareholder, because shareholder what they know is we just contribute the shares. The rest of the management will be done by different person, which is board of directors members. And then we goes with the trust. Okay, ni macam pemegang amanah lah. Kalau kita kat Malaysia, in Malaysia we do have the company Amanah Raya. So trust is one, like Amanah Raya is one example like trust. Okay, trust is an obligation imposed on the person called a trustee, pemegang amanah, to deal with the trust property over which he or she has control for the benefit of the person that call beneficiary. So mostly, with the, I can say like high earners people, okay, or high income people, they do have many assets. So in order to control, in order to know who is the having the rights for to hold this asset, will be uh, actually have someone in order to control it, someone to been trusted in order to manage. The right word is to manage that asset. So that is the body that called trust or trustee. Okay. So the advantage, of course, is income splitting. Okay, because you are actually been hired in order to manage, okay, their asset. Of course, they will like you are hiring somebody, okay, in order to manage your asset. And second one is lower capital gain tax. Because why? Because it's more on uh I'm not saying doing charity, but they are the third party who are being assigned in order to the existence of the company is not for the profit oriented, but more on managing. And the third one, in terms of the control, you have the rights to control, because you are being given something like trustee. Okay, you are being given something like you have been hired in order to manage and control. And the fourth one, asset protection, because trustee have to make sure that the person, the who are hiring them, okay, will protect the asset. And of course, the trust will be used in order to make sure that uh, there will be given, okay, something like this amanah, okay, this how to say that, responsibility to the right person that they assign. And of course it will be stable, okay, because then as I mentioned just now, they are not totally profit oriented company. They just accepting and receiving something like people hiring them for their services. Okay. And disadvantage, of course, the small business capital gain tax, because as I mentioned, they are not profit oriented company. So they totally just doing service for people, for the customer, for their client, which is beneficiary. And the potential conflict following divorce or death. Okay, this is potential happen because, right, because you are handling the cases, right? And um like in Islam, we have those who want to pay for the certain, okay, let's say they have a son and the son have the rights more compared to the daughter, right? So that it will be happen when come to the divorce or the death cases. And the high risk if the asset are hidden, somehow when the father or grandfather die, okay, actually there will be certain asset in a certain island, let's say, okay, and they will be announcing saying that some of the grandchildren will get this asset. So it's something like in drama, right? So in the film mostly showing like this. So uh people will be by shock if let's say they do not know, okay, who might be get this asset, okay, and potential conflict also will be happen. And there will be like legislative risk. People will be sued among themselves, I mean, especially in the family members, because they might say that accusing each other, saying that you are taking our rights, you are taking our asset, you are taking our, this is actually the asset is belong to our family. So mostly potential to have the conflict. But that's why trust mostly they also have like the person who are eligible to talk on behalf of their beneficiary. All right. And then the task structure, as you can see in here, so this is a XPTY private limited company, is trustee Mr. X, Mrs. X. So because this is the company that been hired by this both, let's say X and Y, okay, mean here is a man and this is a female, man and woman. And then the X family trust, they have trust property business, for example, business asset. Beneficiary is goes to X, what X, business X, okay, X, son X, daughter X, age 19, age 21. Mostly in law, okay, when the age, meaning to say the, apa kita panggil we call as the age of 21, meaning to say the my age, okay, the age that you already have your maturity, you have the right to been make decision whether you want to accept or you want just reject it. But of course people mostly accept, right, for those who have been given certain like asset and beneficiary to you. So this is the thing that, I mean, we are in the age 19 mostly is still under parents and their guardian in order to make decision. Okay, so this is the comparing legal structure, and you can see there will be a few of elements being compared in features there. They have formation costs, personal liability of the owners, ability to raise the external capital, and then we have the permanence, the ongoing cost of the compliances, and also the privacy. And you can see um there will be like sole proprietorship in here, and then partnership, And then we do have the company and trust. So maybe this one you can read your own. Actually, I have mentioning in our explanation before. And then we're moving to the intellectual property rights. Okay, as you can see, there are five main types of the intellectual property rights. Okay, for your information, student, um, when we're talking about this patent, trademark, industry design, copyright, trade secret, this is mostly been have, okay, or can I say that every single company when they are want to competing each other, this is actually the main of their weapon and asset. Okay, why I said so? Because this thing, okay, when you own your own patented, your rights, copyright, trademark, your own trade secrets, meaning to say you can beating your competitors, you can fight your intense competitors on that. If let's say your competitors imitate your products, you can sue them by using the certain of the legal system. Okay, especially when it come to the patented right and so and copyrights and so forth, right? So they have five main types of the IP. So um, again, I said because according to the vocabulary, okay, there will be intellectual property agency in Australia. Like in Malaysia, we have MyIPO. Okay, Malaysia Intellectual Property Organisation. But in the worldwide, we call as WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organisation. Okay, who have the right in order to receive the registration from the company in order to register their patent. Maybe I can get some of the example if you still remember how does Apple suit Samsung due to Samsung imitate certain their pattern, handphone, iPhone happen, Apple, and then how they want to make sure that Samsung pay back to the Apple by paying the compensation in using coins in term that using cash or maybe using um, a check and so forth. You have to pay to us by using coins. This is how they want to repay, okay, what they have did in terms of uh, copying certain pattern. Alright, so pattern. What is pattern? Pattern is exclusive rights. Okay, exclusive right to exploit. For example, produce and sell a particular product or use a specific process for a certain period of time. Okay, and the patents are only granted for invention that are new and not obvious to people who understand the technology. And of course, they said they have two types of patent in Australia. They have standard patent and innovation patent. So maybe you can Google this thing because this is based on the Australia perspective. And maybe I should share some of you like because I also teach international business students, right? So this is the pattern, okay? From the text in international business. Patent is the grant the inventor of the new product or process exclusive right to manufacture, use or sell of the invention up to 20 years. So in here they have 20 years, okay? Those the people can, even the grandchildren, great-grandchildren can receive the royalty of their patented license. Okay, and um, if people using their products, right? Okay, alright. So for the trademarks, okay, what is trademark? Trademark is the sign that is used to distinguish the products and services of one trader from those of another. So um, how to say that? It said in here, it can be letter, number, word, phrase, logo, picture, aspect of the packaging, or a combination of these. Non-traditional trademark include shape, color, sound, and smell. So if you see, while a patent protects the function, the trademark protects the look of the business. Okay, remember like M McDonald, like M there, right? The alphabet is actually showing the trademark of McDonald. And I remember there is a cases before this. There will be like a cases. This will be the real case study between McDonald's and also McCurry. McDonald's summons and sue for the civil lawsuit due to McCurry is imitate. Okay, they are McCurry. Okay, because the name of the company is McCurry. This company is doing curry paste powder. Okay, like Babas and so forth, right? But McDonald is, as you know, food and beverage industry. But the problem is when the cases of the civil suit lawsuit is win by the McCurry, because according to the certain rights for the trademark, even though you're using color like because they sue because this McCurry is imitate their color, okay, red and yellow, and the M is like Mac, MC is like McDonald, MC McDonald. So what happened? They sue, but the case is win by McCurry, because why? Because actually they are hiring for the case, but they are not doing a very meticulous research on that, because what, like color warna lah, color, and also like alphabet, because the alphabet is McCurry, not McDonald, exactly McDonald. So it's only just a partial, separuh saja, so the only a partial is not counted as imitation. So I don't remember how the figures, but it's almost involved like million that McDonald have to compensate to McCurry, and the cases of the company McCurry is win over McDonald. So he's like, how shame the McDonald are, right? It's something like you are not really doing okay your research very carefully, and then you suddenly you just summon, you just suit the company, whereby the company know well on that, the opponent party. All right, now we goes with the industrial design. A design refers to any aspect of the shape or configurations of the whole or the part of an article. Let's say people maybe like take and copy and paste, right? We have the right actually under industrial design on that. So in terms like a shape or configurations like patterns, like a part of the configuration. Configurations like features, functions, and the right provided by a design registration is in many ways similar to that provided by the pattern, but the protection is limited to the appearance of the product. So let's say maybe the industrial design on the certain like a robotic example, right? So people, maybe other competitors is imitate the robots. So you have the rights in order to sue. But in other way around, you must make sure your company is registered that particular industrial design. And copyright, I realized in Shopee, okay, Shopee, Lazada, they have a lot that industrial design. Okay, for example, like IKEA product. Actually, if you realize also the name also they said it's like IKEA assemble, or like as IKEA product or something like that. They will put that, they not totally put IKEA products, right? Because they're afraid that IKEA will be someone on that, because the industry design is almost look alike. Okay, they like imitate the design, and actually it's not IKEA products, but it's come from the another manufacturer. Alright, and then copyright is an exclusive legal rights to literary, musical or artistic works, and the rights to produce or reproduce that work by making copies or performing the work. Okay, and copyright is an automatic rights that arise when the work is created. Okay, okay, and then when they say copyright is an automatic right that arises when a work is created, meaning to say, oh, let's say you are doing something artistic work, painting, Mona Lisa painting, for example, right? So that one is considered as your copyright. So, but the copyright have to be applied and to be registered to make sure that your work is belong to you. Okay, not to belong to your competitors. And the trade secret, so this is like making like secret recipe. If you realize secret recipe, they do not ask their staff in order to bake the cake. The cake is already come from HQ. HQ is have that the trade secret on secret recipe. That's why the name also secret recipe, right? When come to the certain of their stores, right? Is come into words cake itself. From the lorry is come the cake is already finished and product cakes. Okay, you are not baking the cake in the stores. All right, a trade secret is any idea, formula, pattern, device, process, or information that provide the owner with the competitive advantage in the marketplace. So includes marketing plan, financial forecast, employee roster, and laboratory notebooks. Okay, trade secrets, another example like pharmaceutical products. Okay, for example, cosmetics products. Okay, and sometimes like right now is we are with the current issue right now is about vaccine COVID-19. Okay, maybe there is alhamdulillah with the good news that Malaysia already start to distribute it to all citizens, meaning to say not only Malaysia citizen but all for free, because it's involving about how to we want to combat the problem on this COVID-19. But it's a vaccine, everybody actually obligatory to get this vaccine. Okay, but at the same time you have to take care yourself too. Okay, so this is something like trade secret. Okay, it's only if I'm not mistaken, Pfizer or Pfizer company had gotten I mean like from these two, I think like husband and wife in US, if I'm not mistaken, Pfizer get this, like they do some research. Okay, maybe both of, not maybe both of this husband and wife is like doctors, so they do some their research their own on how to do the vaccine for this COVID. And what Pfizer do is, of course, approach these two and actually been patented under their trade secret. And yeah, so that is created by this vaccine. All right, so yeah, let's actually have lots on like marketing plan. This is also the trade secret, because when come to the marketing strategy, it's not all company can know it. Okay, it's something like secret of the company. And we also have like corporate governance and regulation. We have like licenses. Okay, of course, every single of the business you have to register. Like Malaysia, we have SSM or CCM, Company Commissioner Malaysia. Okay, and permits. Okay, let's say you are opening your business in like in the Kuala Lumpur area territory, so you have to ask from DBKL, Dewan Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur, or maybe in area of Selayang, Majlis Pemandaran Selayang Municipal company body. You have to get the permits that you want to open up your stall or you want to open up your business. And then taxation, of course, we have based on the sometimes like income individual tax, or sometimes based on the business income. And the registering for the business number and the JST. Before this we bombarded with this JST, right? We had to pay for 6% on that, and now we have SST. Okay, and we also have a competition trade practices law. Okay, so meaning to say we have to know, okay, in terms of how we want to know what is do and don'ts. Okay, when we are practicing, maybe what we call anti-dumping. Okay, you are not allowed to lowering the price up to you giving something that competitors something like dumb. Okay, after all, and bankruptcy. Of course, mostly for those who are bankruptcy, you are not eligible to do any business because your name has already been blacklisted by the the government bank of Malaysia, like Bank Negara Malaysia. And of course, like Malaysia, we do have like CITOS and SICRIS to ensure that for those who are involving in this, it involves high debt. It's not easy to make sure that this person is bankrupt. It's almost take like 7 years, if I'm not mistaken. 7 years, and to make sure that he or she is really bankruptcy. Mostly when come to what is the current issue right now is mostly like the youngster young age, because you are using credit cards. Okay, some of you are using very expensive car, which is your salary. You are fresh graduate, right? Sometimes your salary is not eligible to pay for that, but because you want to use, yeah, because of you, maybe you understand what I'm trying to say. So somehow that is the reason you are involving in this bankruptcy at the younger age. According to the statistic, this is what I heard from the radio. It's been stated in Malaysia, the earliest age that goes for the bankruptcy is 16 years old. Umur 16 tahun sudah ada yang bankruptcy because people using her or his name, okay, maybe for do certain of this business, and then all of a sudden they can't actually survive, the business is end up, and then yeah, it actually tarnish the image, I mean like the name of the person that you use for your registration of the business, and end up with the bankruptcy. Okay, all right, and then we have the ethical and social responsibility challenges for the entrepreneurs. We do have ethics and law. Okay, what's been ethics? Ethics meaning that do and don'ts, right? According to the religion, code of conduct or practices in the country, particular culture. And then ethics and laws, establishing a strategy for the ethical responsibility, ethics and business decision, and also social responsibility challenges. So this is according to Scaper Valerie in page 233. Okay, so what is ethics? Define the ethics. Okay, basic rules or parameter for acceptable behavior. I give very simple example. When in Malaysia we want to go to our neighbor, let's say we want to visit our friends, which is maybe at hospital, we bring something like fruit basket, or maybe we bring some food or any medicine to them, right? It's something like saying gift, right? But in other way around, in other particular country, when you bring something like that, is considered like a bribe. You give me a bribe, meaning to say you want to bribe people, especially when you go for business traveling, business matter. Okay, you bring something as something like you say this is souvenir for you. People might be saying that this is a bribe. Because why? Because it's not acceptable behavior in that particular country. Okay, so problem with implementing specific definition, it will be creation of the conflict. Okay, so for those who are doing the business, dealing business in China or Japan, actually in their culture, their particular country, they are welcoming. People are giving their expensive liquor, giving something expensive meat. Again, like in Chinese and also like Japanese, they like to eat like meat, ham meat, right? So they will give like that. So for them, it's okay, acceptable, expensive gift is like acceptable ethics, okay, conduct. But let's say you give something like handmaids to the Muslim, let's say you are doing business in Saudi, let's say. So it is these kinds of the ethics like insulting to that particular country. You're giving like liqueur, okay, expensive wine, for example. They might say, hey, you know I'm Muslim, I'm not allowed to do to drink this. This is haram, for example, right? But this is will be create some of the conflict. That's why mostly expatriate ni orang yang bekerja di luar negara. So mostly those people they got very what we call very skillful training. Okay, do and don'ts. What you can do in China, what can you can do in Europe country, what you can do in Japan, what you can't do. So everything will be learned on the do and don'ts on this. And then we have ethics and law. The management rationalization good for business, not good enough. Yeah, this is the thing that we have to know also in terms of rationalization. Sometimes it's good for business, but it's not good enough. Something is contrary or it is not parallel, okay, with the implementation of the business itself. So the morality come from within, whether it's positive towards the moral standard or is law lags behind the moral standard. For them, fine. You give something like gift is fine for them, but in that there will be say, so this is not been acceptable, permissible, because it's like a giving bribe. You want to give gift, but it's already been unethical, something giving bribe. And economic trade-off, economically efficient, not necessarily moral due to the poor ignore inside the information. So there will be reflect in terms of our behavior from we want to do something good will be perceived as the bad intention. All right, and then this is the classifying decision in terms of illegal, legal, unethical, ethical. So quadrant 1, ethical and legal. Quadrant 2, ethical and illegal. Quadrant 3, unethical and legal. Quadrant 4, unethical and illegal. So they have many here. Okay, so now we will moving to the establishing a strategy for ethical responsibility. We must have ethical practices and code of conduct. So this is come from within of the company itself. So what is the code of conduct, what the company can do, what the company can do, and what the staff can do and what the staff can do. So this is start from the codes of the conduct, because every company they have a different. Your company A can do it, but our company B can't do it. Okay, and approaches to the management ethics. So it start from walk to the top, meaning to say the leader is show something like role model, some a good exemplar. So your supervisor or your subordinate, your staff can follow what the best that according to you. And of course, we want to encourage on esprit de corps, right? Teamwork each other. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you show a good example and holistic approach in terms of how you want to make sure the flexible of the approach, okay, in terms of how you want to make sure it suit with the condition situation. Like right now, you are not allowed to have something like what we call shake the hand. You are not allowed, right? People might say, why you not shake the hand? Because mostly business practices, we shake hand when we want to meet the people, new people. There's something like this is the agreement be made. How come we want to shake the hand whereby nowadays is the COVID-19? You get me? So the thing particular that we have to suit with the particular issue or current issue right now. Okay, we just maybe put our hand in our chest. Okay, and then we just say, yeah, thank you. Okay, our deal agreement is being made, and rather than you shake your hand, okay, and maybe you can nod your head to say that you are agree with them. No need to shake, no need to shake hand, no need to have something like in Saudi, right? They put something like kissing your cheek, yeah, something like kaifa haluka, something like Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Okay, and then yeah, tabarakallah. For example, right? You will hug each other and cheek and kissing your cheek. Yeah, this is not allowed during this COVID-19, right? So this is the things that the ethical responsibility and also holistic approach that we have to suit what the current issue happen right now nowadays. And ethical responsibility in terms of how responsible and how ethical the responsibility that you want. You know, okay, when someone from outsider may be asking you about something, your inside information about your company, you might wonder why you want to know about my company, why you want to know about this. For example, like marketing strategy, like example, right? What is actually your company did in order to do your promotion, example, maybe you can share with us. Sometimes you share for the sake of the friends, right? But you do not know your friend actually is a part of the insider trading. Insider trading meaning to say they become like spy, okay, in order for their company, in order to seek. They know you and him is actually friend, and then they keep asking you whatever. But all of a sudden, you do not know that the company is actually the competitors of your company. At the end, you will be accused for breaching the information of the PNC company. See? So sometimes like we have to be very ethical. Okay, what we did, whether is actually breaching the ethical or not. So now first and after all must have your own trustworthy, and the second one you must have your pride. Okay, you must have your pride. Okay, principle. Okay, principle is number one too, because everything is back to principle. If you do not have any principle, the ethical will just breach it. Okay, so we need to say no need to learn ethical anymore. Okay, because you said that it's same whether it ethical and article is still same. Okay, and then this is the ethics and the business decision in terms of the complexity of decision. We have extended consequences, multiple alternative mixed outcome, uncertain consequences, personal implication, and pertinent questions. Okay. So I don't want to go further on here, but maybe you can do some your research. Okay. Maybe you can have this. Okay. And how we want to integrating in terms of the entrepreneurship and society, we have corporate social responsibility, corporate social behavior or responsibility, which is like CSR, societal responsibility, environmental responsibility, non-profit. We have the green environmental awareness and social responsibility. Social entrepreneurship. Maybe I take one of this example, green environmental awareness. Example, you not allow people to using plastic bag. Okay, you are allowed only for the biodegradable paper bag. For example, like IKEA, right? That is biodegradable, okay, reusable bag. Okay, maybe you can sell it in order to support on the green campaign business, and maybe more on paper rather than plastic. Okay, and even no nowadays, I realized that a restaurant no more using what we call straw. Okay, straw is prohibited due to the cases that many of the turtle have been died due to the human being when they do some water pollution, they throw away into sea, and then those the turtle actually been die, okay, because they believe that it's something like food for them to eat, but actually it's some part of the irresponsibility of the human being. And that is the part more on the great environmental awareness. Okay, and if you realize nowadays the issue is about mass pollution. People are throwing away the mask, not put into the right the place. Okay, maybe in the future, maybe you can have some initiative in order to make sure that the mask can be recycled but not to use recycle the mask and make a mask again. No, because it's involve hygienist, right? So what they did, maybe they do some composite or fertilizer, and then this thing can be used in order to planted a tree and so forth. There is many ways to do it, and I realized in Japan, what they did is like the mask, they process it. Okay, they process it and then they do something like yeah, like something like I don't remember the words. It's actually they do something like some how to say the place in order to put some your yeah, what how oh mashallah, I don't remember the name, to put some your belonging, but not actually for food, but more on your like in your gardening site. They used to recycle this mask. It's already become in another way around product. So it's a good initiative actually, rather than you throw away the mask. Okay, and I realize also some of them, they fill up the, when we are using the mask, they have some rope there, right? They do some some creativity like souvenir. Okay, so yeah, it's quite good actually. And we also have social and philanthropic responsibility, whereby we have the corporate social behavior, and then we have social obligation, social responsiveness, social responsibility, and philanthropy. Okay, philanthropy, for your information, student, is something like doing charity. Okay, let's say you are doing business, at the same time you do something like infak bucket. Okay, food basket. Okay, maybe you can give some very simple example. They call as like Masya Allah. Food. Yeah, I think like food. It's not food basket, but it's something like wardrobe. And the wardrobe have the food inside that. Ustad Abiliu. Okay, maybe some of you know his name. This guy, one of the pious guy. Okay, pious guy is doing this charity. He opened up like his own empire. Can I say that? Their own retail market. Okay, like selling those food. Okay, for example, like you go to Jaya, something like that. They have many of their branch. Okay, and every single branch, they provide something like they call as food wardrobe, something like that. Okay, so for those who are needy needs that one, you can take from that wardrobe. And then for those who want to do this infak, okay, we want to do like this donor, you just put, when you buy the things from his supermarket, and then you put inside that. They say like instant noodle like Maggi, right? You buy from his supermarket and then you put there in order to do some charity. That is philanthropy. Okay, so it's quite good nowadays, because I see in Malaysia is quite like mushrooming this kind of system market, whereby in overseas it's already long time ago they did this. For example, you go to like coffee stores, right? Or maybe you go to restaurant coffee, even though you just only order for one cup of coffee, but you pay for two. So the another one actually you reserve for those who like homeless, they need one to buy, but they don't have money, right? So actually the customer is paying more than one cup. The more cup actually goes to the homeless. You do not know whom, but they know. Okay, especially those the stores and the restaurant. It's already do a long time ago, and it's a good actually um one way to help the needy. All right, and then the practical measure to improve environmental outcome in SME, small medium enterprise, reuse and recycle when possible, of course. Okay, only print and photocopy when necessary, and use recycled paper. In IIC also we did this. Front back must be printed. No meaning to say not one page only, not only one sided. Okay, don't like empty rooms. Let's say they have the classroom. Okay, we not just empty. Mean like there is no one inside there, so we have to just shut down, turn off the equipment at night. You need to say that photocopy monitors, printers, you have to shut down, not get asleep. Okay, and return use print cartridge and buy recycle ones. Yeah, this is also done by IIC. we will send the use cartridge to the management department, and then management department will send back, and there will be send the used one. Return all mobile phone batteries for recycling. This one is done by certain of department, but I don't remember the name. Okay, actually for the energy department, it's only you cannot just throw away your handphone. Now, you have to actually send to the certain particular in order to recycle the handphone battery. And then also we have select supplier who use less packaging. Okay, meaning to say bring your own paper bag, bring your own no use use biodegradable bag. And watch out for the unnecessary water and power usage for those who are not using electricity, and also water, please make sure it shut down. Okay, not shut down, will be water off. Okay, off. And service vehicle regularly, as this help with the fuel efficiency and lower emission, like truck or maybe bicycle, not bicycle, motorcycle, buses, or what else, your car. Make sure it's been serviced according to the schedule of services, to make sure that, yeah, in terms of it effect to the pollution, especially air pollution. And encourage staff to carpool and use public transport. I think that long time ago Malaysia encouraging on the carpool, but why we want to actually forcing people to having sharing, because they carpool but they are not car sharing, okay, for oil sharing and petrol sharing lah. So that's the reason maybe this campaign is not so effective. But if using public transport, I think yes, because nowadays the government gives something like benefits for those who are buying this LRT or MRT ticket, you can use for all, but they have certain eligible age, okay, for that. But this is one of the good way on that. All right. And then eco-efficiency, we do have like is expression used to define a management strategy that jointly promotes optical environmental sustainability alongside optical economic performance. They have seven key approaches to achieve eco-efficiency. We have reduced material intensity of the good and services, reduce energy intensity of the good and services, reduce toxic dispersion, enhance material recyclability, maximize sustainable reuse of renewable resources, extend the product durability, and increase the service extensive of goods and services. Okay, so we're moving on to the ecopreneurs who realize that eco-efficiency can also provide a competitive advantage. So this is one of the good sample of article for those who are not have the article yet for your individual assignment, right? So ecopreneurship is one of the issue. Often it utilize consumer concern about the environment. So meaning to say you more on environmental value and user friendly, and similar to conventional entrepreneurs, but also have the green environmental focus. So actually, nowadays, if you realize from the statistic, mostly the technical, electric, and electronic, IBM, Hewlett Packard, what as Sony, they goes with this green business, green environmental focus. So, what is socials entrepreneurs? Social entrepreneurs meaning establish enterprises primarily to meet some of the social objective rather than generate the personal financial profit. So they take risks and seek innovative approaches to improve the life of the individual people, groups, and society, not just for the personal gain. So it have like advocates of widespread changes in society, will create the difficulty accessing venture capital. So they give some helps, okay? They boosting some motivation for those who are SME, they don't have capital, so you lend them up, okay? Try to help them on how to have the business support system, and often have to work within the concern of not-for-profit organizations, so meaning like NGOs. I think nowadays, like Mawib is some like for those like Muslim, we are paying zakat, right? Majlis agama. So it's something like for the Muslim, okay. They give some also what we call uh, helps, okay, business, if you want to do business, and then they give you something like food truck, okay, and at the end, at the same time, you helping them in order to survive, to earn income for the family. That is a consideration. Mawib, and other organization also like zakat, okay, like from like Selangor, zakat Selangor, mostly come from like the Muslim who are paying zakat. Alright, and then indigenous entrepreneur typically only represent a small minority within the larger population. So their ability to create a viable businesses is often hampered by low level of skill, access to education, work accumulations, okay, often live in the geographical remote areas. So mostly they are in the rural area. They tend to have the different cultural values than the traditional Western notions of the entrepreneurship. So I believe that they are very small minority in there. If let's say in like Malaysia, we do have like our local people. I think like Bumi Putra's ethnics like orang asli. Okay, so this is a part of because they have a lack of education. But nowadays, we can find that those this what we call this pre-bumi or ethnic different ethnic is already goes to university and they get some the facilities better facility for the government in order to increase okay their life, okay, family life and so forth. Alright, and then as the summary, if you see in here, there are three basic types of legal structure. We have sole proprietorship, partnership, and a company. And then we also have a trust that can also be a legal structure. And then that a business may operate under. Sorry, huh? I do have some message from my boss. Okay, and then there are four main types of. They say in Australia and New Zealand, a trust can also be a legal structure that a business may operate under. And then there are four main types of the intellectual property right, which is patent, trademark, design, and copyrights. More generalized legal matter may also be relevant, such as licenses and permit of tax. An entrepreneur need to be aware of the environmental impact, need for the application and management of principle in the not for the profit sector as a tool for community improvement. So if you have any questions, student, I hope that you can ask in our group WhatsApp. I'll try to answer your question on that. Mm, um, okay. I think that's it. Okay, if you have any question, you can just respond. I mean, asking you should the question in the group. I'll try to answer to you all, and I hope that my lecture today is beneficial to you. So at the same time, for those again, I repeat, had submitted to me the draft, you can proceed to your slide. Okay, and I hope that everybody, I will put this recorded version in our Neo. At the same time, please you have to log in you to make sure that your attendance is been taken. And yeah, have a nice day and have make sure that you can proceed with your slide draft on that. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum. Have a nice weekend.